The internet. It is a word we use every single day. It is like the air we breathe for many of us. We barely notice it, yet it is always there. This vast network connects billions of people across the globe. It links computers, phones, and countless other devices. It allows information to flow freely, almost instantly. Imagine a giant, invisible web spun around our planet. This web is made of data, ideas, and conversations. It has become the backbone of modern life, a fundamental utility. Think about your day. You might wake up and check the news online. Perhaps you send a message to a friend living far away. You might use the internet for your schoolwork or your job. Later, you could stream a movie or listen to music. All these activities and many more rely on the internet. It is a tool, a library, a playground, and a meeting place, all rolled into one. Its presence is so deeply woven into our routines. It is hard to imagine what life would be like without it now. Before the internet, communication was slower. Sending a letter took days, sometimes weeks. International phone calls were expensive and often reserved for special occasions. Research meant spending hours in a library, sifting through physical books and journals. Businesses operated differently, with less global reach. The pace of life in many ways was dictated by these physical limitations. The internet did not just speed things up, it fundamentally changed how we interact with information and with each other on a scale never seen before. This incredible system did not appear overnight. It was not the invention of a single person. Instead, it evolved over decades. It started as a small experiment, a bold idea in the minds of visionary scientists and engineers. Its journey from a few connected computers to the global network we know today is a fascinating story. It is a story of collaboration, innovation, and unexpected turns. It is a story about how humanity built one of its most powerful and transformative creations, leading us all the way to the age of instant updates and viral TikTok videos. The story of the internet begins in a time of tension. It was the height of the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. The US Department of Defense was concerned about its communication systems. They worried that an attack could cripple their networks. They needed a network that could survive even if parts of it were damaged. This challenge led to the creation of ARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency. ARPA was tasked with funding ambitious research projects, ones that could lead to technological superiority. One of ARPA's visionaries was J.C.R. Licklider. In 1962, he wrote memos about an intergalactic computer network. He imagined a future where everyone could access information and programs from any location. His ideas inspired ARPA to think about new ways for computers to talk to each other. Lawrence Roberts, another key figure, spearheaded the ARPANET project. The goal was to link research computers at different universities. This would allow scientists to share computing resources. The concept of a decentralized network with no single point of failure was central to its design. The first big test came on October 29, 1969. Researchers at UCLA tried to send a message to Stanford Research Institute, SRI. They wanted to type login. Charlie Klein at UCLA typed L. He asked SRI over the phone, "Did you get the L?" "Yes, we got the L," came the reply. Klein typed O. "Did you get the O?" "Yes, we got the O." Then Klein typed G. The system crashed. The first message ever sent on ARPANET was a low. It was a rather humble beginning for such a revolutionary technology. Later that year, 4 universities were successfully connected. ARPANET was not initially intended for the general public. It was a closed network for academics and researchers. Its main purpose was to allow these groups to share expensive computing power. The idea of ordinary people using it for emails or social media was far in the future. It was a tool for a small, specialized community. Yet, this small network planted the seeds. It demonstrated that a robust distributed network could be built. It became the foundation upon which the modern internet would eventually rise, step by careful step. For different computers and networks to communicate, they needed a common language. This is where the concept of protocols comes in. Think of protocols as a set of rules for conversation. One of the core ideas that made ARPANET work was packet switching. Instead of sending a whole message in one go, it was broken into small pieces called packets. Each packet could travel independently through the network. They would then be reassembled at the destination. This made the network more efficient and resilient. If one path was blocked, packets could find another way. The most important set of these rules developed was TCP/IP. This stands for Transmission Control Protocol Internet Protocol. It was developed in the 1970s by Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn, often called the fathers of the Internet. TCP ensures that data is sent reliably. IP handles the addressing, making sure packets get to the right destination. TCP/IP allowed different kinds of networks to connect to each other. This ability to link various networks together is what truly gave birth to the idea of an internet, a network of networks. As more research institutions and universities connected their local networks using TCP/IP, the ARPANET gradually evolved. Other networks, like NSFNet, created by the National Science Foundation, also emerged. NSFNet provided a high-speed backbone that connected more universities. This expanded access significantly within the academic and research communities. The term Internet started to be used more widely to describe this growing collection of interconnected networks. It was no longer just ARPANET, it was becoming a larger, more diverse ecosystem. One of the earliest and most popular applications on ARPANET was electronic mail or email. Ray Tomlinson is credited with sending the first true network email in 1971. He chose the @ symbol to separate the user's name from the host computer name. Email was not part of ARPANET's original plan. Its creators were focused on resource sharing, but researchers quickly found email incredibly useful for collaboration and communication. It became a killer app, driving the network's adoption and showing its potential beyond just computing tasks. It was an early sign of the Internet's power to connect people. By the late 1980s, the Internet existed. It connected universities and research centers. However, it was not very user-friendly. To use it, you often needed to know complex commands. Information was there, but finding it and accessing it could be difficult. It was mainly a tool for scientists and computer experts. The idea of it being a global information space for everyone was not yet a reality. There was no easy way to browse or link documents together seamlessly. It lacked a simple, intuitive interface that ordinary people could use. This began to change thanks to Tim Berners-Lee. He was a British physicist working at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research in Switzerland. He saw the need for a better way for scientists to share and link information. He envisioned a system where documents could be connected through hyperlinks. Clicking a link would take you directly to another related document, no matter where it was stored. This idea was called hypertext. He wanted to create a global information space that was open and accessible. In 1989, Berners-Lee proposed his project. By 1990, he had developed the key technologies for his vision. These were HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, for creating web pages. He also created HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, for transferring web pages across the Internet. And he designed URLs, Uniform Resource Locators, as addresses for web pages. He also created the first web browser, which he called World Wide Web, and the first web server. He made all of this available within CERN in late 1990, and then to the wider Internet in August 1991. The World Wide Web, as Berners-Lee called it, initially grew slowly, but a major breakthrough came in 1993 with the release of the Mosaic web browser. It was developed at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, NCSA, at the University of Illinois. Mosaic was important because it had a graphical user interface. It could display images alongside text, and it was easy to install and use on regular computers. Suddenly, the Internet had a friendly face. Millions of people started to explore the web, and its explosive growth began. The web made the Internet accessible and appealing to the general public. Section 5, from dial-up dreams to always-on reality. In the early to mid-1990s, the public started to connect to the Internet from home. Most people used dial-up modems. These devices connected to the Internet through a standard telephone line. You would hear a series of squeaks, beeps, and hisses as the modem established a connection. This sound became iconic for a generation of early Internet users. Companies like America Online, CompuServe, and Prodigy provided dial-up access. They offered email, chat rooms, and access to the burgeoning World Wide Web. Internet speeds were slow, often measured in kilobits per second. Downloading a single song could take many minutes or even hours. The limitations of dial-up were clear. The connection was slow. The phone line was tied up so you could not make or receive calls. Users craved faster speeds to enjoy the richer content appearing on the web, like images and eventually music and video. This demand fueled the development of broadband internet technologies. Digital subscriber line services used existing telephone lines but offered much faster, always-on connections. Cable internet used the same coaxial cables that delivered television service. These broadband options started becoming more common in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Then the internet broke free from wired connections. The development of Wi-Fi technology allowed devices to connect to the internet wirelessly within a local area. Laptops could now access the internet from anywhere in the house or office. Coffee shops, airports and libraries started offering Wi-Fi hotspots. Around the same time, mobile phone technology was also evolving rapidly. Phones became smart, capable of browsing the web, sending emails and running apps. 3G and later 4G and 5G mobile networks brought high-speed internet access to our pockets, wherever we went. This evolution in speed and accessibility dramatically changed how we use the internet. An always-on fast connection meant the internet was no longer a place you visited occasionally. It became a constant presence. Streaming video and music became commonplace. Online gaming grew into a massive industry. Cloud computing services which store data and run applications online became feasible. The internet transformed from a novelty into an essential utility. It was always there, ready to provide information, entertainment or connection, changing user habits and paving the way for even more innovative applications. Section 6. The People's Network, Rise of Social Media and User-Generated Content. As internet access became faster and more widespread, the nature of the web itself began to change. The early web was largely a one-way street. People consumed information created by others. This was often called Web 1.0. But a new phase emerged, known as Web 2.0. This phase was all about participation. It emphasized user-generated content, interactivity, and collaboration. The internet became less about just reading and more about writing, creating, and sharing. The users became active participants, not just passive consumers of content. Even before Web 2.0 became a buzzword, people found ways to connect and share online. Usenet newsgroups and online forums allowed discussions on countless topics. Instant messaging services like ICQ and AOL Instant Messenger enabled real-time text conversations. Then came blogs, short for weblogs. These personal websites allowed individuals to publish their thoughts and experiences easily. Platforms like Blogger and WordPress made it simple for anyone to become a publisher. Wikis, like Wikipedia, demonstrated the power of collaborative content creation on a massive scale. The real explosion of user-generated content came with the rise of social media platforms. Early sites like 6 Degrees, Friendster and MySpace pioneered the concept of online social networking. They allowed users to create profiles, connect with friends and share updates. Then in 2004, Facebook was launched, initially for college students. It quickly grew to become a dominant global force. Twitter introduced the concept of microblogging with its short, character-limited posts. LinkedIn focused on professional networking. These platforms turned ordinary people into content creators and curators. The evolution continued, with platforms focusing on visual content. YouTube, launched in 2005, made it easy for anyone to upload and share videos. It democratized video production and created a new generation of online stars. Instagram and Snapchat prioritized photo and short video sharing, largely driven by the rise of smartphones with good cameras. More recently, TikTok has captivated global audiences with its short-form, algorithmically driven video content. These platforms have profoundly changed how people express themselves, build communities, consume news, and interact with brands and celebrities. The internet truly became the people's network. Section 7. Transforming communication, a smaller, more connected planet. One of the most profound impacts of the internet has been on communication. Before the internet, long-distance communication was often slow and costly. Email, one of the earliest internet applications, changed everything for written messages. It allowed people to send and receive text almost instantly anywhere in the world for a very low cost. This revolutionized business correspondence, academic collaboration, and personal connections. Then came instant messaging, which made online conversations feel more like real-time chats. It brought an immediacy to digital communication that email could not quite match. The internet did not just speed up text communication, it also brought us face-to-face across vast distances. Voice over IP services like Skype, launched in 2003, allowed people to make voice calls over the internet, often for free. Soon after, video calling became widely available. Suddenly you could see and talk to loved ones, colleagues, or clients on the other side of the world. This had a huge impact on families spread across continents and businesses operating globally. During events like the COVID-19 pandemic, video conferencing tools like Zoom and Microsoft Teams became essential for work, education, and maintaining social ties. The internet also fundamentally altered how we get our news and information. Traditional news sources like newspapers and television broadcasters were once the gatekeepers of information. The internet opened up new channels. News websites provided instant updates, blogs and independent journalists offered diverse perspectives. Citizen journalism emerged where ordinary people could report on events happening around them using their smartphones. This has made information spread incredibly fast. However, it also brought challenges such as the rapid spread of misinformation and disinformation, which can be hard to control. Beyond one-to-one or one-to-many communication, the internet enabled the formation of entirely new kinds of communities. People with shared hobbies, interests, or conditions could find each other online, regardless of their physical location. Online forums, social media groups, and dedicated platforms created spaces for support, discussion, and collaboration. Scientists could collaborate on research projects across different institutions and countries more easily than ever before. This ability to connect and form communities around any imaginable topic has made the world feel smaller and more interconnected, fostering a sense of global village. Section 8. Reshaping industries, business, education, and entertainment online. The internet has been a powerful force of disruption and innovation across almost every industry. In the world of business, e-commerce completely reshaped how people shop. Companies like Amazon and eBay pioneered online retail. They offered vast selections, competitive prices, and the convenience of shopping from home. This forced traditional brick-and-mortar stores to adapt or risk becoming obsolete. Online advertising through search engines like Google and social media platforms created new ways for businesses to reach customers with targeted messages. Entirely new business models based on subscriptions or the freemium model emerged. Education has also been transformed. The internet provides access to a virtually limitless amount of information. Students and researchers can find articles, books, and data sources with a few clicks. Online learning platforms, including massive open online courses, have made education more accessible to people worldwide. Universities and schools now use online portals for course materials, assignments, and communication. Digital classrooms and remote learning have become increasingly common, offering flexibility but also highlighting challenges like the digital divide, the gap between those who have internet access and those who do not. Entertainment consumption has undergone a revolution. The music industry was one of the first to be disrupted by file-sharing services like Napster. This eventually led to legal music streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music, changing how we buy and listen to music. Similarly, video streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus have transformed how we watch movies and television shows. Binge-watching entire series became a new norm. Online gaming has also exploded, with millions playing collaboratively or competitively in vast virtual worlds. The internet provides endless entertainment options, available on demand. The rise of online platforms has also profoundly affected traditional media industries. Newspapers have seen their print circulation and advertising revenue decline as readers moved online. Many have transitioned to digital subscription models. Television broadcasters now compete with a multitude of streaming services and online video creators. The internet has also empowered individual creators. The creator economy allows artists, writers, musicians, and video makers to connect directly with their audience and monetize their work through platforms like YouTube, Patreon, and Substack. This has democratized content creation in unprecedented ways. Section 9, The Endless Frontier: Reflections and the Future of the Internet. Looking back, the journey from ARPANET's first low message to today's hyper-connected world is truly remarkable. It is a testament to human ingenuity and the power of collaborative innovation. The internet was not built by one company or one country. It grew out of the efforts of countless scientists, engineers, programmers, and visionaries. They shared ideas, built upon each other's work, and often prioritized open standards. This collaborative spirit was key to its success. It evolved from a government research project into a global platform for communication, commerce, and culture. Today, in 2025, the Internet's importance is undeniable. It underpins our economies, our social interactions, and our access to knowledge. It has empowered individuals, connected communities, and created opportunities previously unimaginable. However, this powerful tool also presents challenges. Issues like cybersecurity threats, data privacy concerns, the spread of misinformation, the digital divide, and the impact of social media on mental health are critical areas that require ongoing attention and thoughtful solutions. The internet is a double-edged sword, and we must learn to wield it wisely. What does the future hold for the internet? The pace of innovation shows no signs of slowing. Artificial intelligence is already being integrated into many internet services, from search engines to content creation tools. The Internet of Things continues to expand, connecting everyday objects to the network, from smart homes to smart cities. Concepts like Web3, emphasizing decentralization, and blockchain technologies aim to reshape how we own data and interact online. The metaverse, a persistent shared virtual world, promises new forms of social interaction and immersive experiences. Quantum computing could eventually revolutionize encryption and processing power. The Internet's story is far from over. It is constantly being rewritten. As technology evolves, so too will the ways we use and experience the network. The challenge for the future will be to guide its development responsibly. We need to ensure that the Internet remains a force for good, promoting openness, access, and understanding. We must strive to bridge the digital divide and create an online environment that is safe, inclusive, and beneficial for all of humanity. The next chapter in the Internet's epic journey is waiting to be written, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.